Hello everybody, Glitch Reaper here. I'm back for another mob battle, and this time we won't be needing this because they'll be aggressive enough already. Although you never know what could happen. I've been experimenting with a few things, including the mob army. These are actually called mob armies. There's actually two different types, but the fact is that it's kind of interesting how they work because you have to name them. I was going to use the mage from Divine RPG, but apparently it has no AI towards other mobs, even if you try to force it, no matter what. That happens sometimes. I keep having to say that, but even with throwing every type of magic stick at it to tell it what to do, it doesn't know how. Like, it will get just flawlessed by a witch, just because it doesn't know how to fight back. So, yeah, again, not all mods have their AI created equal, even within the mod. Like, sometimes certain mobs will actually be able to, and some will not within the same mod. So it happens. So yeah. So in doing that, I was trying a few other things, and I kind of came up with a better idea anyhow. That's a bit more exciting. So I'm gonna have 3 of the bosses from the Rats mod versus Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast from Abyssalcraft. So that's gonna be interesting because he already brings an army and they like to minion. So this is gonna be quite intriguing. Now, in this version of Rats, I can't get the Flying Dutch Rat to show up, but I do know, in fact, and have succeeded in later versions of doing so. It's just not in 1.12.2. That was corrected in a later version. So whenever Abyssalcraft gets to that moment, I'll be able to have the Flying Dutch Rat go up against Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast, etc. But for now, not going to happen yet. Shino's going to be concentrating on content updates in 1.12.2 for a while before trying to do a giant port. So there is reasoning behind that. Don't worry, Abyssalcraft may eventually move on. That is partially a may, but I'm more confident that it'll eventually move. Rats, on the other hand, is way ahead. It's one of the big mobs-related mods that's kind of even going as far as 1.16 right now. So, yeah. And that also makes it fascinating and interesting to try to fight with. And even amongst it, some of its mobs are particularly aggressive too, including these 3 bosses here. Of course, just because Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast will challenge anything that's not a dread mob, it does make him particularly good for mob battles. So, without further ado, I'll put down Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast after popping myself back into normal, because I had to take some precautions due to things happening. So, yeah. Now, I do have to move from area to area because, at least while I'm using this world, before I decide to reset it, because it does turn the area into Dreadlands. So, there is that. Okay, just a few seconds, and then there we go. Now, interesting note here on how he does it. There's actually a biome transition, and if something is in that transition, it'll actually be kind of orange, or even just a dark green. So it's kind of interesting how that actually color codes. Now, let's let him fight some stuff. Okay, I'm going to start off here with a Black Death, which he immediately launches his attack on, and vice versa. They immediately recognize each other. He will try to minion his way out of this. Like, he's starting to already throw rats towards him. He'll move on to Plague Beasts, which are much bigger, and they can deal some damage to Cha'gorath on the way. But this guy doesn't, even though he can melee, and melee pretty hard, he prefers not to. So he will be seriously at range, and just walking through the Dreadlands. Oh, there's a Plague Beast going at it right now. They don't last long, but they do get to scratch Cha'gorath for a little bit. They can deal some decent damage, it's just they only get like 1 instance of it before they die. Because Cha'gorath he's horrifically strong in melee. Like, even if it weren't for his barrage of ranged attacks that he has these days, he is really strong in melee. So anything that tries to get point blank to him will just get smacked hard. Or is it scratched? I'm not sure. Does he headbutt at that range, or does he scratch? Up, more Plague Beasts are trying to get through his army and to attack him directly. At least the the Black Death knows what his target specifically is, other dread mobs will also try to non-discriminately attack non-dread mobs, so they will go for it. I have seen dread guards just go right at them sometimes. Of course, vice versa can also happen, and I can prod them if I need to with the magic stick, but for the most part, Abyssalcraft has a big thing about its dread mobs being super aggressive. So that really makes this go by pretty quickly. This guy's about to toss himself into a bomb. Wow, he's down to about a quarter, way faster than whenever I was trying this before. So he's just getting eradicated. No, rat, pun intended. Seriously, I didn't intend that one, even if it happens to be decent. I mean, there's a lot more rat puns in the mod itself, trust me. This guy is just about wasted. I mean, he's such a goner. That one never even made it to him. Normally, the plague beast can actually get to him, and then that's when they die. Because they only have like 40 HP or so, and you can like swipe at them for like 15 per hit. Yeah, and he also has an army going around him that's concentrated a little more densely close to him. Well, I don't know about that. This region's a little more all over the place this time. Yeah, they are going for it, but then just dying so quickly. And like the Wither, he can multi-target, so they're not having much luck. He really is actually pretty good with anti-army tactics, and the Black Death was eradicated already. Again, no pun intended. I think he died from Dread Plague. He is gone. Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast has over half his health remaining, but let's go with the Neo-atlantean automaton. It tries to wade through everything. It's also super aggressive. Like, this thing is kind of like the Wither in its aggressiveness, only maybe more so. Like, I'm pretty sure this thing will attack anything that moves. It tries to prioritize on big things, obviously, but it still is just, like, super aggressive. I'm pretty sure it attacked first against the Dread Horde here, before it launched its attacks on Cha'gorath himself. It's down. He has a bit over... Well, he has nearly half left. Like, that thing barely scratched him by comparison. Well, time for the Neo-atlantean. And again, these bosses are, like, stupendously aggressive, so... Yeah, I expected, like, instant battle start there. Now, the Neo-atlantean has a special attack that lightnings a lot of things in the area. But he happens to try to get in the area himself and will actually zap himself a bit. He's hard to track, just saying. So this is the case where I might have to go more by health bars than the visual. But he'll be around here somewhere. Wow, he's really hitting Cha'gorath pretty hard this time. Cha'gorath was already at less than 10. So remember, I've thrown them all at him in a row. Like, I have not given him any kind of recovery in between. Just all out aggression. This has been a tag team effort. But also remember my rule that any circumstance caused by one of my participants, he is down kind of, but it's not over. Again, as I was trying to explain, my rule is that any consequence caused by them, whether by their death or by their presence or them creating minions or whatever, any side effect caused by them counts towards the battle. So it's not over until the Neo-atlantean destroys everything that he left behind, which could take a while. So I'm going to toss a few things in my transmutation tablet. Oh, there's the key. To get them out of here. I just use that for sweep up in mob battles, but it's pretty handy since most materials usually have them. Okay, now where is he? Because these portals will not necessarily be... Ah, there he is. He's dancing over there. Again, he is hard to track. Because he is small, fast, and flies. He usually flies to deal with enemies that also fly. But because there's a lot around here that are floating around, I think he's a little less discriminating. And he can also teleport. Just saying. He rarely does that. He usually just flies very quickly to a new location. So either he's or okay, he blasted himself there, I think. But this time he didn't catch fire. Sometimes he catches himself on fire from his lightning, and sometimes he doesn't. But he does suffer from there. He lit himself on fire. But he does suffer from Dread Plague as well. And again, that's a side effect of the boss. So if he keeps coming in here to fight them and getting himself infected with the Dread Plague, he will eventually just die. However, he is sweeping them out pretty well this time. He's taken out a lot of minions, but there's some that still have opportunities to fight back and or grow, actually. Because remember, well, you might not necessarily know all the details of it, so I'll go over a little thing here. In Abyssalcraft, some dread creatures have the ability to fuse with each other and grow bigger. And they may absorb power and divide over time, and that can produce quite a feedback effect. So there's a chance this army may actually grow even though Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast himself is down. Wait. Where'd the Neo-atlantean go? Did he abandon ship? No, he did not. I just got out of range of the health bar. That happens too. Some bosses have an indefinite range with their health bar, and some do not. That is something the game engine actually directly supports. I just don't know where he is. Ah, there he is. I spotted him. Just follow the little jittery guy. Are you actually starting to regen? Because you'd lost a lot of health trying to fight them. Ah. Let me see your health bar. He's down to 55. But again, it's not over until everything has been swept clear of one side. Again, that's my rule. Minion, status effect, what? If there's anything that was directly caused by the boss, that keeps up. But he has been trying to wipe out the dread creatures. Like that one just got drilled. Oh, wiped out. There are a few left. Until they're all gone, I can't really declare him winning, but I will declare him as one, or rather, the whole side of Frat's bosses collectively, since it wasn't just him, to have won if he can wipe out all the dread creatures without himself dying of dread. After that, I can consider that maybe he just shifted back to his home plane or something. Even if technically he's still in their area. Of course, the landscape itself won't do it to him, but side effects of the death of the mobs will if he goes into an effect cloud. Wow, I was right behind where that was shot. And he can also zap himself with lightning. So as long as he's still fighting, he can... Okay, he went into an effect cloud. He got Dread Plague. Okay, he blasted that. Okay, are there any left? Oh yeah, there are hands of Cha'gorath over here. He's bombarding the area. That one's gone. Are there any minions left? I can actually declare victory for the for Atlantis overall if they are all gone, and I do mean all of them. Like there can't be a Dread Guard or a lesser Dread Beast left. Although I can ignore these guys because they technically appeared due to Lycanized mobs. They just occur when explosions happen. But oddly enough, they haven't been targeting either side, so I'm calling them neutral in this and therefore ignored. Also, I don't think they engaged anybody. Okay, I'm pretty sure the area has been officially purged of dread creatures. So collectively, Atlantis has won. But Cha'gorath was stronger than any one of them, and I can prove that by kind of redoing the fight just with the Neo-atlantean and showing that even though he's their probably overall strongest fighter, that he's still no math. Darn lips. Still no math. That is a good one, though. He's still no match for Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast. So I'm going to redo that, just starting with the Neo-atlantean, after, of course, he engages starting up the field. Yeah, you can see that even early on he can really pelt them. And he is chucking minions at him. But the Neo-atlantean has some pretty cool attacks, so he can deal a lot of damage. I'm just curious how far he can get Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast down at the time that he falls. Because I know that alone he is no match for Cha'gorath. Cha'gorath really is just an absolute monstrosity of a wall. Like, he really is the ultimate living wall. Wow, Neo-atlantean is down by more than half already. Ooh, gosh. Make that about 2/3. You're pretty close to it. Again, part of it is because of Dread Plague, but... Oh, and he zapped himself with lightning. That is a strategic misstep by the Neo-atlantean. Of course, if he decides to zoom in instead of just hanging out with the minions, then... Oh, wow, he zapped himself again. He could do himself in this time. Like, he will occasionally come in closer and just get... Well, he got obliterated down here somewhere. I'm taking that psionic rat brain, but not necessarily for the reason you think. Now, the thing is, Cha'gorath has no regeneration, so I can always accurately look at his HP right afterwards. Now, the Neo-atlantean was pretty strong, though. He did get Cha'gorath down by more than half before he got probably taken out by Dread Plague. Because I'm thinking that's probably what got him there. But yeah, the rats mod's pretty cool. I'm thinking of adding that to my Atomic Resurgence 2 profile soon. Because it does have some Thaumcraft integration. But just the fact that it's pretty cool overall, and you can do a lot of things with the rats, and fight some serious bosses is pretty cool in and of itself. Now, note this is in fact the effect that you get whenever you're in the Dreadlands in the overworld, so to speak. And I have had that happen to me in arenas before, and it can be sometimes hard to find the exact spot that it was turned into Dreadlands. But there are some ways of removing it, it's just not easy. And mostly requires an abyssal nomicon, so there is that. So I'll let him go. And I thought I had another... here we go. I knew I had another weapon around here. Are they immune to that? I thought I was going to use this to sweep them up, but no. Short range, apparently. Wait, are these not even real? Are these, like, ghost trimmers? I was gonna... Maybe they don't exist. Yeah, I'm not hitting them. I think they're ghost images somehow. Not sure how that happened. Anyhow. But we can tell that Ratlantis won collectively, but Cha'gorath is stronger than any one of them, so these three bosses just can't do it on their own, but as a team, they were able to take down Cha'gorath the Dreadbeast. Not really sure what would have happened if I would have done it in reverse order. Actually, I might as well just try to see what would happen if I did it in reverse order. Like, could they have won? You know, I have some time. I'm going to go for it. I'm actually going to just see what happens whenever I start in reverse order. Because that sounds like a cool idea, and I've already got him here, so why not? I just need a freshly not quite dreaded spike. Dragon? Dragon? We have a dragon? You know? Now I'm curious. I will unleash the power of Ratlantis on this dragon. If I can hit the little guy. That's the hard part, is he's probably one of the hardest targets I've ever had to hit with this thing. I know there's another way, but he disappeared. Great. He just completely and utterly disappeared. Just a moment. I need to sneeze. Sneeze break over, I think. Hey. Putting a boss in the middle of your horde. What do you think about that? This guy's also got some ranged attacks, so let's see if he can take care of the dragon. Hey, dragon. Hey. I put a boss here. What do you think about it? You gonna do anything about this, or are you just gonna keep flying out of range? I mean, he's hovering. Aha. Well, that one noticed, but then the dragon flew out of range. He does have an aggro radius, so yeah. He's also smashing up the dragon's lair. I was just trying to clear out the dragon to get rid of possible interference, but whatever. I mean, if he's just gonna hover over there, I'm not gonna worry about it. If you're just gonna hover around your nest, I'll just let you stay there, and I'll take care of my business over here. And if you happen to get too close, you might wind up getting seriously dread plagued. Okay. Because it happens. So let's try this in reverse order. Let's see, would it have really happened collectively in either direction? So, Cha'gorath. Now we'll start with the Neo-atlantean. Because I did show that he can, in fact, defeat him, but here's the question. Would he be able to take down all three if I did it in reverse order? Starting the strongest, one that's kind of in the middle, and then the one that's the ultimate minion guy. Hey! This time they're actually kind of doing decent damage on him. Again, these guys I think are just useful right now. Admittedly, Cha'gorath does have an awfully hard time hitting this guy directly, so it's mostly from the splash damage. He is actually okay. All those little effect clouds and occasional explosive hits do manage to take him down eventually. Remember, he will occasionally strike himself with lightning. But, so we're trying to go reverse order. Strongest first, and then to Mr. I rely on minions. He keeps flying into that effect cloud and renewing the effect every time. What is up with this stone, though? I don't know what's up with that. Oh, I think he had a direct hit with a minion, though. I think he hit him with a Fist of Cha'gorath. He's like telepunch. Oh, and that was a direct hit with one of the dread charges. He might actually take him down this time. Could it be that it's just unpredictable? I don't know. It's pretty close. It could be a tie. Again, until the field is cleared. Oh. That was just a super narrow. Oh my gosh, they're closer to each other than I thought. Oh, the portals kept, and it kept firing. So his portals kept shooting until sometime after he died, and therefore kept shooting at Cha'gorath until he was gone. So, well, it's still not exactly a tie because Cha'gorath's minions are still here, but yeah, I can see how that is more unpredictable than I first thought. So, Cha'gorath wins by having remnants left on the field, but he can also take down the other two bosses successively before dealing with the Neo-atlantean. And of course, there was this time where they clobbered each other, and all that's left is Cha'gorath's minions. So that's interesting. Okay, that was a little different than I expected. I'll let the field get cleared here. And again, those guys seem to be ghost images or something. I'm not entirely sure what's up with that. And we have a dragon just chilling over there for no particular reason. And yeah, in Ice and Fire, they specifically are noted to not go away unpeaceful. So that's just the way it is. And again, I didn't really need that too much the whole time. I was trying to get that dragon and one of the bosses to fight each other, but it did not go down the way I planned. But that was just a spontaneous thing, just because he was there. And you could certainly see that trying this from different ordering functions, still Cha'gorath winds up on top, even if he has only his minions left and he's gone. But the order may account for something. Like, I'm pretty sure if I had these guys on that field afterwards in reverse order, that they would have at least cleared the field. So, I mean, him just versus the Neo-atlantean, he'll definitely win one way or the other. But other than that, a little more inconstant than I thought. But still, it showed that he could wipe out their whole team, and that he could definitely have a moment afterwards. Like, the Neo-atlantean did have the ability to clear the field once, and I've seen him also not do it and wind up getting destroyed afterwards. So there's a lot more chaos in this one than I first realized. But that also made it more interesting for me, so I have a lot to think about on this one. I mean, if the rat bosses or rats bosses actually, are more comparable to Abyssalcraft, especially with Cha'gorath, that's actually pretty neat. Of course, I haven't thrown Jazahar at them. They'd probably just be completely and utterly toast. But that's a trial for another day. For now, I'll be logging off. Hope to hear from you all later, and bye for now, everybody. And remember, there's a random dragon just there, so let's just leave him be. And there will be more mob, and of course there will be more mob battles. Darn lips.